Hello everybody, I'm back with another video. This is what if Naruto had an ultimate dojutsu. If you've seen the last video, don't forget to like and subscribe and go back to that video to check it out. And like and subscribe on that one and also comment down below. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty of things before I continue. We're gonna do a time skip. Only a few day time skip, like 3 I guess. 3 day time skip. That's it. Not really much. After the loss, basically stuff, Naruto has been keeping to the bottom of the class list, the Dobi, as you know. And also somebody is curious about Naruto's full power. That would be Shikamaru. You can tell Naruto is holding back. Naruto has also been getting major improvements and training more. He's been running across the village to complete his running. He had to do that 3 times, and now he's doing it another 3 times again. He had to do, I guess you can say, I don't know, a lot of push-ups. I don't know how much I should give him. A lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, and a lot of squats to prepare him for strength training for his new taijutsu. Yes, his taijutsu style that he's learning from Kurama. Let's call it Raging Fox. The taijutsu style that this is going to be used is I guess you can say, it's a random style. It uses random different styles, kicks and punches to take your opponent off guard. If your opponent expects you to swing a left, you swing a right. If your opponent expects you to kick up, you swing a left hook. It even works in mid-air, so Naruto had to be doing a lot of stretching to be very flexible for his mid-air attacks. And it also works well with shadow clones. That and Raging Fox is supposed to be paired up with another taijutsu, but that taijutsu is also a very hard taijutsu to learn. It's called the Dragon's Taijutsu, or the Dragon's Fist for short. The only person that used that taijutsu is Madara himself. The reason why it's hard to master is you don't learn the taijutsu chooses you to learn. Because it's the same thing like the Raging Fox. It has a very random theme of attacks, and also works on surprise, counter, and defense. It works well with Raging Fox. It works almost too well with Raging Fox. But anyway, continuing on. Naruto has been practicing also with his dojutsu. He has discovered he's able to similarly copy some of the taijutsu stuff, the how can I say it, the dojutsus that exist in this, basically in the village. Like the Sharingan, he's able to have certain extinct abilities of the Sharingan, such as number 1, copying an opponent's movements, number 2, seeing opponent's movements before it happens, and number 3, seeing all things in slow motion, whether it be attacks and other stuff. His dojutsu also helps him memorize everything, and I mean everything. Every little detail, every little thing. Even this jutsu. Yes, he can copy jutsu. He can also see the chakra networks and the pathways through chakra. Continuing on. He also has a mixture of the Byakugan infused, which helps tremendously because of the mixture of the Sharingan as well. The Byakugan helps him to see in a 360 direction, which also helps because now he doesn't need to be looking at an opponent to know where they are. He just will know where they are because of his eyes. And when he uses the Byakugan, the veins don't appear on the side of his eyes, which is a plus, stating that no one will notice he's using any form of Byakugan technique that this eye would have. But his eye needs to be fully activated to use the Byakugan thing first. He could use one of his eye be active and close while using the Byakugan thing, but yeah, he already knows that. He's only increasing his strength at the moment. He's also learned how to tree climb, and he's learning how to chakra walk or water walk. He learned how to tree climb. He's learning how to water walk. Because of befriending the QB, and on top of that, his dojutsu gives him nearly perfect mastery over his chakra. It's been quite easy for him to do chakra control. He really doesn't need to do chakra control training at all. At all. But he still has to do some. Chakra like chakra conversion, like converting your chakra into a specific element, is quite hard for him because he doesn't get the concept of turning his chakra into lightning chakra, water chakra, or any other type of chakra to get his, yeah. And he doesn't get how to he needs to separate the two chakras and then combine them again. So he's already having a bit of a trouble. Anyway, continuing on. Naruto is at the moment busy training with his eyes. He is busy fighting a bunch of clones. And if you're wondering who taught him the Shadow Clone Jutsu, Kurama, yeah, he taught him it. He found out that the Clone Jutsu was not going to help, so the Shadow Clone Jutsu had to do. You can also make a bunch of different clones. Earth clone, water clone, wind clone, dust clone, etc. He also made a weird clone called the honey clone, but he's not going to mention that quite much. He doesn't know what he's going to even use that clone for, but okay. He supposes it might be useful someday. Continuing on. As Naruto was training, he just got out of the he just got out of ninja he just got out of his ninja classes as because school is over and there's a weekend coming up. But what he did not know is he was being followed. He didn't have his dojutsu activated at the time. And he was also so distracted that he couldn't sense the person that was following him. The person that was following him usually stays out of his sensory circle, using her eyes to see where he might be going. And yes, it's a she. Naruto has a pretty wide sensory ability, rivaling even the Byakugan. For someone to have a for someone to have an even bigger sensory basically circle than him is impossible. Only the Byakugan is able to do that. And I think you know who might that be that is following him. As Naruto is training with his eyes. As this person is shocked, watching Naruto's beautiful eyes shine as yellow as the sun, moving from left to right, analyzing the entire situation, not basically letting one detail go out of order. How Naruto takes control of his enemies and defeats them, even if they are his clones. As she watches in amazement and awe, as Naruto is using the grappling effects of the taijutsu Raging Fox and even's attack effects, like he's attacking and maybe even grappling and taking down by trying to trip a clone and even try to get into a chokehold position and choking the clone out. As yes, this person had to just move. As she wanted to take a closer look, snap. That could be heard throughout the clearing, as Naruto's clones stopped fighting and dispelled, as Naruto stopped himself. As he looked over to where the sound came from, there was no one there. He can feel there's somebody there, but he doesn't know what. He thinks it's just an animal. As Kurama says in his head, "No, Naruto, you're correct. There is someone there. Take a closer look. This person is watching you. She's also seen your eyes, so I suggest you better catch her before she runs." As Naruto conjures up a kunai and throws it into the direction, Hinata started booking it. She knows that her crush just saw her, as she's quickly running outside of the forest before she got caught by her crush. To no avail, she gets the kunai that Naruto threw started changing into a metal net as it wrapped around Hinata's legs, arms, and even his body, tightening her and keeping her trapped. Naruto has discovered that he's able to turn objects that he's thrown from using his mind. Any object that he uses to conjure with his mind and will can be changed automatically into any bladed weapon, sword, and vice versa. As Naruto basically transformed his kunai while he threw it into a chain, as it caught Hinata when it got close. As Hinata comes to a stop as Naruto lands in front of her. Stuffed. Okay. My nose is blocked at the moment, sorry about that. As Naruto sees Hinata, as he's confused. "Hinata? What are you doing here? Why were you watching me?" As Hinata is blushing pure red. Her, her crush has just discovered her, and now she cannot move. Neither cannot get away, and she feels like she's about to faint. She's trying to hold on to consciousness for dear life. As Kurama says at the back of Naruto's head, "Naruto, keep her focused." As Naruto bends down and snaps his fingers in front of her face, as Hinata's focus gets drawn to him. As Naruto asks, "Hinata, what are you doing here?" As he asked, Naruto, good. I, as Naruto, yeah, it's not much. He couldn't understand her. He barely could understand her. As he tells Hinata, "Hinata, shh, breathe, breathe, in, out." As Hinata does so, she breathes. She tries to take hold of her nerves. As she mutters a sentence without stuttering for a few minutes. "I was curious on what you were doing out here, so I followed you and yeah, As Kurama states, "We can't let her go and tell anybody else, especially those Hyugas. As soon as they discover you have a dojutsu, it's going straight to Hiruzen and the other clan members. And if I know any better, also the council, the civilian council is going to be there. So you have to keep Hinata quiet. If she tells, the civilian council will be on your butt about this. Remember that. And you'll be forced into this thing called the clan, or I don't know what they called it again. Hold up, give me a minute. You'll be forced into the dojutsu slash clan reproduce system. As Naruto asks, "And what is that?" It means you'll be forced to date multiple girls. Even if, and I mean even if you don't like them, You were forced to do it, just so you can spread the dojutsu. And I can tell you now, the dojutsu you have cannot be spread through your clan. You are the only person, and I mean the only person in this time and this life that will ever get this dojutsu. Maybe in another million years in the future, another one of your ancestral children might get it in the future. Really? There's only one of this dojutsu, Naruto. It's rare like the Rinnegan. But even so, this is more rare and more powerful than the Rinnegan. And you'll only find one of this in the world. You won't be able to find two. I see. As he tells Hinata to, hey, Hinata, can you do me a favor? Now that you know I have a dojutsu, keep quiet about it. Please. As Hinata was about to ask until you asked that please, as she had no choice but to keep his secret. As Kurama gave him a bit of a suggestion. Hey brat, now that she knows you have a dojutsu, how about you ask her to train with you? As Naruto's like, wait, you really? She already knows you have a dojutsu. There's no point in hiding your power now. You might as well train with her. You never know. She could make a good mate in the future. As Naruto in his mindscape spat out some water that just came from nowhere. He just had water in his mouth in the mindscape and he spat it out. As Naruto starts stuttering and turning red like a gosh darn fool, his head was already to the point where it looks like his head was an entire tomato. As he keeps on stuttering, I know that as Kurama is just basically smiling and giggling at the other side of basically while he's sitting under the tree. It's been a few days, and Naruto has also learned from Kurama that his mindscape can be changed. So Naruto did so. Naruto changed his mindscape to a quite a big field. Big field with grass and a massive tree. With trees surrounding all around. These are just normal sized trees. While the one that Kuruma is sitting under is basically the tree is basically it makes him look like a normal fox. That's under a tree. That's how big this tree is. And the other trees around are just small. There's also an ocean. There's also an ocean near. There's also an ocean somewhere far by, a desert biome, and other different biomes that Kuruma could think of. Yes, Kurama can also edit Naruto's mindscape. He's also built a modern city. And what I mean by modern city, I mean modern city. Tokyo, Japan, all those places. Even Asia. He's literally built a modern version of that place. A modern version of World War II as well. Mostly for training purposes, but also for the scenery. It makes Naruto's mindscape a bit more lively. As Kurama is under this massive tree. This tree is a copy from Seven Deadly Sins. That's basically it's a copy from Deadly Sins. It's not just elves and fairies here. It's elves. Yeah, it's just elves and fairies that's the side. As it makes his mindscape a bit more lively when Naruto's not here. Yes, this is a literally elves and fairy section that Kuruma's in. As, yeah, continuing on with the what if. As Naruto outside is turning red. As he asks, Hinata, as he's scratching the back of his head, as he said, would you like to join with me training? As it took Hinata a while, and I mean a while, to answer, but she finally forced herself and stated, yes, yes, I would like to train with you. So, when you free? As Hinata still, while stuttering, tells Naruto when she is free. It's either then it's either she has to train with her father and her sister, or she has a lot of free time to just do nothing. So it's usually she trains with her father and sister during the week, and then the weekend she is free. As Naruto states, good, well, I'll meet you during the week, I guess. As it is Friday at the moment for Naruto. The weekend is about to come up. As, yeah, not much left to do. Naruto trains, he gets a bit stronger and goes to bed. He trains in his mind escape with Kuruma as well, using learning chakra control and even chakra walking. Finally mastering chakra walking. Finally, as Naruto yells, I got it! Okay, good. Now, how about you climb this tree and fight a bunch of admirations? As Naruto is like, wait, what? Naruto, you do realize that fights happen all over the ninja world. You could be in a random position fighting somebody right at the moment, and you would need the skills. You never know when you're going to be fighting a ninja sideways on a tree, especially a tree that's this size. As Naruto yells at Kurama, there is no tree in the world that is this size. How would I be fighting vertically a ninja on a tree that is this size? You never know. As Kurama says, with a with a small grin. Kurama obviously is a lot more friendly. A lot more friendly. As Naruto gets to continue his training, and before the half an hour, Naruto rests in his dream. He goes to literal bed instead of fighting all day in his mind. His mind needs a bit of rest as well. As, yeah. Now I am going to do time skips here, all the way to the Mizuki incident. There we go. I know his name now. Mizuki. As Mizuki stole the scroll, a ceiling. As Naruto was training in the forest where Mizuki was gonna go past. As he sees Mizuki, as Mizuki stops in front of the clearing, seeing the demon brat. As the demon brat waves to Mizuki, oh hey Mizuki, what's you doing here? As Mizuki gives a cocky grin. As Kuruma warns Naruto, something isn't right. Naruto, he has malice, intent. Something isn't right. Stay on your guard. Oh no, nothing, Naruto. I just came to get rid of my witnesses. As he pulls the shuriken on top of his back out and throws it at Naruto. Naruto, instantly reacting, pulls out a kunai from seemingly nowhere. As this kunai is basically a small one, obviously, but Mizuki threw a big one. This is Naruto just reacting on instinct, as Naruto gets down on his knees, dodging the shuriken. As Naruto looks up, sees the shuriken, then looks back at Mizuki. As he throws his kunai, as he makes a hand sign. He makes a hand sign. His chakra slowly depletes, but only a small percent, like 1%, as thousands of kunais are made out of thin air. As Mizuki bulges his eyes out and says, what? As he couldn't dodge, he gets pin-cushioned by all these kunai. At the same time, Mizuki slowly removes all the kunai that is stabbed inside of him. As he states, "Why you little, you little," as before Mizuki could even finish that, Naruto was already upon him. Naruto was already upon Mizuki, already a few hand signs. Fire style. Fire Phoenix Jutsu, as he states. A stream of fire coming out of Naruto's basically mouth, as Naruto is on top of Mizuki at the moment. As Mizuki gets hit with his fireball, not hits with his fire stream, not really basically getting sheared as well. As when Naruto lands at the back, Kurama states, "Hey kid, that scroll on his back. It's the scroll, it's the forbidden scroll. That little brat must be taking the forbidden scroll. I suggest you take it from him." As Naruto does that, makes a kunai out of thin air, cuts the rope that is holding the forbidden scroll, and then moves the scroll away from Mizuki, as Mizuki just got sheared by his attack. As he states, "Why you little, how did you, a mere, you're not even a ninja yet. You shouldn't be able to, I shouldn't be able to make a clone jutsu kunai. I shouldn't be able to do a kunai clone jutsu. And I shouldn't have the chakra to do the phoenix flower jutsu. Correct?" As he finishes Mizuki's question, as he states, "But I did." Naruto jumped back by the massive kunai that is basically against the wall, as he pulls it out. Naruto takes the massive shuriken and places it on his back. He states, this might be useful for something. I don't know." As Naruto is actually taking the massive shuriken, because really, he doesn't get good shuriken, he doesn't get good weapons. So, he might as well just take this, and yeah. As at the same time, Mizuki was standing there, his partner in crime finally catches up to him, as he sees Mizuki's state. As it's basically one more day before grading exams, so Mizuki did this a bit earlier. He couldn't wait anymore, so yeah, he did this early. As Mizuki is basically standing up ready to attack Naruto until Naruto's teacher approaches, basically stops them, or stops Mizuki. As yes, the rambling begins. As Mizuki also blabbles out that Naruto's the Ninetales, Naruto fakes like he fakes that he's shocked, as he also fakes running away. He knows Mizuki is too weak to fight back against Aruka. There is his name. I forgot his name. Aruka is too weak to fight against Aruka. As Aruka and Mizuki fight, Mizuki, already being damaged from Naruto's last and second attack, couldn't defeat Aruka, as Aruka defeated Mizuki by killing him. As Naruto didn't really go far, all he did go was a few meters just to do something. As Naruto gives a smirk and he states, he activates his dojutsu and states, "Time to learn some new jutsu." As he opens the forbidden scroll, seeing all the jutsu, he looks at each and every single one. And then he finds the Raishin Kunai. He finds the Raishin Kunai and states, so this is the fourth Hokage's Raishin. So this is your jutsu, Dad, as Naruto states in his mind. Taking the Raishin Kunai out of the scroll, because it was sealed in it. Only one of it though. There's two, but he takes one of it out. And he also learns some of the other jutsu there. A lot of deadly jutsu. A lot of deadly jutsu. As Naruto rolls back, the jutsu rolls up the forbidden scroll again and walks back to the clearing where Haruka was. As he fakes like he was crying, as Haruka comforts Naruto and tells him the reason why. Why that he was being so nice to him, and why basically he is not the demon, but he's only the container. As he also says sorry to Naruto, it took him a while for him to realize that. Continuing on, Naruto and Haruka goes to Ichiraku Ramen's, gets a meal, and obviously gives back the scroll sealing to Hiruzen. Hiruzen saw what happened, but he didn't follow Naruto when he took the scroll of sealing. All he saw was when he opened his ball of perviness, all he saw was this. He saw Mizuki beaten, bruised, and battered with a lot of knife marks and also on fire. Then he saw Iruka step in and Naruto run away. He didn't follow Naruto, he just kept his eye on Mizuki and Iruka's fight. As Naruto quickly activated his dojutsu, learned all the jutsu he could copy or learn, and stored and gave it back to the Hokage. Grading exams. The grading exams took place as Naruto did get a reward for that, but it was only 20% of the portion that Iruka got, because Iruka is the one who took him down. Naruto is just the person who intervened. As a grading for the Ninja Academy, the grading day has come, and Naruto feels like blowing people away. But he got in a good lecture from Kuruma, because stating that if you went all out now, it would look just weird and also have a big red target placed on you in the future. If spies and ninjas were looking something about you or tried to gather information on how strong you were, they will look at your grading academy years. If they find that you are the dead last of the classroom, they will underestimate you, and the information would be false and totally outdated. You can use that to your advantage, you dumb brat. But if you go all out now and show all your skills and powers, this will paint a red mark on your grading, and people will find that weird. Also, you might worry the other civilians that the demon brat is getting stronger, and that one day the demon brat will turn against the village and destroy them all. You will get more shiz from the council than you ever had before your 2 years entering this academy. As Naruto sighs and says, fine, I will pass all of it with the minimal that I need. That's the way, as Kurama states. As Naruto does what he says, he uses the minimum and passes the minimum. He also, instead of doing the clone jutsu, does the shadow clone jutsu, because it's the easiest jutsu he can do, and it's the only clone jutsu he can do. Next. Now let's go to the next part of this episode. Okay, back again. This part of the episode will be covering the following. Following is simple. We'll be covering the teams. Obviously, you should know the teams because there's a slight change. And also, we'll be following the grading or the test that all team or Jonin senseis like to put for their teams. We'll be following those in our next one. Let's continue. Naruto passed with flying colors, and it's the next day. He also got some ramen with Hinata, and for Kurama is quite amusing. Reasons why is quite amusing, I mean, these two are basically they were meant for each other. They flirt almost nearly every day. Well, when they're alone, that is. When they are with other people, they act like their usual selves. Hinata shy and all, obviously, and Naruto, the loud doofus he is. But when they are alone with each other, they almost tease each other by flirting, seeing which one will break first. Is it Hinata or will it be Naruto? And right now, basically the wins and losses, Hinata is coming strong with 37 wins and 29 losses. Naruto coming in close behind with 30, 37 wins and 36 wins and more losses than Hinata. So I can tell you that much. I'll get back to you in maybe somewhere in the future. I'll tell you where they are at on who's winning at the teasing thing. But obviously they are teasing each other, and they are doing it even here at the ramen stand, seeing which one is going to break first. Hinata. Naruto. Naruto says, "Oh come on, Hinata, it was either me or you. We all know, and I couldn't let a pretty flower like you get hurt like that." As Hinata states, "Well, at least this pretty flower can beat you to the point of where you're nearly about to die." As she gives a light smile. As this banter goes on, light and forth, with a bit of teasing and a small bit of turning red, later until eventually people like, I guess you can say, Hinata's friends and some of Naruto's friends show up. Naruto has made a few friends in the academy, being Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino. Not Shino. There we go, the bug user, Shino. As yeah, these guys he likes with a T. Those are his besties. As Hinata's best friends, well, which obviously being Ino and also Tintin, but Tintin's not here. She's on a different team. So, but she mostly hangs out with Naruto. So, yeah. Shikamaru has been suspecting that Hinata has gotten stronger over the days, and she's also hiding her power, just like Naruto. So they are doing some sort of training that is making them stronger. He thought the closer I get to Naruto, the closer I will be getting to cracking the secret that Naruto is hiding wide open. Sorry about that pause, I mean making food while recording a video and making tea while also eating the food and drinking at the same time is quite hard. So yeah, I just finished making it, now I'm going to eat it while making this video. So I'll try not to have any background noise, but yeah. Naruto and Hinata were busy bantering and bickering back and forth until they hear a voice. As they also hear a packet moving. Ah, hey Naruto and Hinata, what are you two doing here? As Naruto and Hinata knew immediately who those two were, who that voice was, as they swapped to their alternate personalities immediately. Hinata started turning red, as Naruto started acting like the doofus he is. As Naruto looks back at Choji with a mouthful of ramen, as he speaks with a mouthful of ramen, as Shikamaru comes up, it's like, Naruto, swallow your food before you speak. troublesome blondes. As the person who is behind them is Ino, and also Shino as well is also there, as Shino is there with his glasses and jacket, so stoic as ever, not wavering his emotions not once, just saying, "Hey Naruto and Hinata, seems like you're enjoying your meal." As Hinata says, "Yes, Shino, as, yeah, she didn't get to finish it. As, yeah, they're pretty good actors. As they start talking and communicating. "So, we're going to meet our senseis tomorrow," Choji says. "I wonder what they're like." As Shikamaru states, "I hope they're not bothersome like you, like the rest of these, like the rest of the Jonin senseis are." As he says that, Shino says, "Well, I hope they can make us stronger. At least teach us something new." As Shino states in his stoic personality as always. As Ino states, "Well, whatever our sensei is, so whoever our sensei is, so long as I hope I'm on Sasuke's team," as Ino is dreaming of a Sasuke. Sorry guys, back again. Just had to eat quickly. Yeah. Now, as yes, Ino states that, Naruto and Hinata just gives a sigh. As Hinata finally gets a bit out of character, but she says, son, you know that just wanting to be with Sasuke is not a goal. What happens if you're not with Sasuke? Then what is your goal?" As Hinata states, didn't even get to even compromise and even say something back when Choji states, "Yeah, what if your precious Sasuke, even if he's on the same team with you, doesn't even like you? What if," as Naruto continues, "what if Sasuke never gets put on your team? What if you die because you got so weak and so dependent on Sasuke, thinking that he'll save you? What then?" As he asked Shikamaru and Choji, "Shikamaru, Choji, what's your goals?" As Shikamaru and Choji states, they want to be the next Ina Choju combo, or Ina Shika Choju combo, the next generation. But because of their other members' weakness, it's gonna be the thing that will drag them down. Because she's so influenced by Sasuke. As Choji, as Shino, or as the Arame, Shikamaru, air quotes Sasuke. Shikamaru already knows what Naruto and Hinata are doing, so he's just helping them. As didn't even get to go say anything back, as even the stoic Shino says something. "Yes, that Sasuke is a real bothersome for all the girls in our classroom. All of them are weak. None of them know anything. I bet in a real fight a ninja could kill every single member of our female group, and only one of us would be able to take down that person. But that man would be able to take down each and every one of the females in this classroom with relative ease." As Naruto states, yes, because of that Sasuke. Because of that Sasuke, a lot of the females in our classroom has gotten weaker so far. It's kind of sad, really, as as Naruto finishes, as I would say that Shikamaru could continue. The only person remotely strong enough To deal with whatever is beyond this Leaf Village's walls is Hinata herself. She's strong enough to take every one of the girls in our classroom and not break a sweat. As I would say the I would say Shikamaru would state. When Shikamaru said that, yeah, that hit something for Ino. Hinata is the only strongest person in their class is what they're stating. The only strongest Konoichi, Konochi, I can't even say Konoichi, in their classroom, and that she is not even worth the competition. That's why Hinata was the Konochi of the year instead of Sakura, and instead of Ino. She's very skilled, powerful, and she knows her stuff. As all this praises is giving Hinata a big, red face. She basically resembles a tomato in this one. She's red as a tomato. As Naruto continues piling on the insults until Ino eventually couldn't take it and starts crying. As she basically storms off. As when I would say Choji would go back to his sister, or to ask if she was alright, I would state that both Shino and Shikamaru would stop Choji, stating she needs this. Don't help her. As Shino is running down the streets of Konoha, having everything laid out in front of her. Every bland word stating that she's weak, she's incompetent, and she just cares about the brute Sasuke's feelings to her. She doesn't even eat properly. She wants to go on a ridiculous diet just to seem appealing to Sasuke. But really, yeah, she lets everything be laid down in front of her by her friends. And now she is only realizing this now. She is weak. She needs to get stronger. She needs to forget about the Uchiha and get stronger. And the fact that her best friends are saying this means something. As she decides then and there that she will get stronger and prove them all wrong. That she is not the weakest, that she will become the strongest girl in Kunoichi in this entire village. As that is her new goal. With a fire in her eyes and the willow flame burning bright, she sets off to start her training program and asks for the assistance of her father and parents. Rubbing the tears out of her eyes, yeah. As Naruto and Hinata can see this, because they were heading the same way Ino was heading. As they saw the fire in her eyes and the decoration, I couldn't even say it. The decoration, forget it. And heard her yell that she will become the greatest kunoichi in this village. As she ran off with a fire in her eyes, a new goal, and also forgetting about the Uchiha, because she didn't even notice that Sasuke passed her. As Sasuke looks back, wondering why the heck is one of her fangirls acting so weird. He ignores her because fangirl, as he continues on. He's actually happy that she didn't see him because he was doing quite well undercover. And if Ino would have saw him, well, yeah. Continuing on, graduation day, the team assignments, or the teams that is going to be set. We cut to all the Jonins that are basically in the Hokage's office. As the Hokage calls the Jonins one by one, team 1, team 2, rotation, team 3, team 4, 5, 6, 7. Kakashi Sensei. You got team 7, which is Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, Sasuke Uchiha. As I would state that the Genjutsu mistress would ask, wait, I thought I requested for the Hyuga. As Hiruzen states, that is going to be a problem. It's always been tradition to put Team 7 with the strongest, the weakest, and the strongest Kunoichi in their class, in the same group. It's been tradition, and it will always be tradition in this village. So I am unable to give you Hinata Hyuga because she is Kunoichi of the year. I can give you Sakura, which has a great, which some of her teachers report that she has pretty good chakra control, and she has a high affinity for using genjutsu. As yeah, she couldn't revolt against that because it's been Leaf Village tradition, and it's been taking them so far all the way to the Sunning. They have the Sunning to look at that for. Continuing on, Kakashi Sensei didn't expect to get a Hyuga on his team, especially the shy Hyuga, but anyway, he was fine with it. He would make it work. A genjutsu, two dojutsu users, and a person that doesn't have a dojutsu. That's what he thinks. It's actually three dojutsus. This team might as well be the dojutsu team because each one has each one has an I dojutsu. Might well be the dojutsu team. Kakashi has also been hearing some reports about Naruto. Basically, the reports has been going around through Hiruzen's office that Naruto has been holding back, and this is coming from Hiruzen himself. Hiruzen Sarutobi is stating that Naruto doesn't seem right. He is holding something back. Kakashi has one mission on his test, to draw out Naruto's true potential, and also to show all Naruto's secrets, as well as Hinata. Because you can also tell Hinata started holding back when she started being friends with Naruto. And Hiruzen has been trying to keep a close eye on Naruto. But Naruto always seems to slip his armbu, and he doesn't know how and why. I mean, you would have think a person with a bright orange jumpsuit and also yellow hair and whisker marks would stand out of a crowd immediately, but he still somehow slips the armbu. As the person that was also in the group in the immediate area was another armbu, as she had a dragon mask on. Or they had a dragon mask on. This was the commander of all the Anbu, the number one Anbu, the commander of all, Dragon. The person that was chosen for Anbu is usually a secret to even everyone. No one knows Dragon's face. Once they put on the mask of Dragon, they stay that way until they are allowed to take it off. No one knows the true identity of Dragon, and no one even knows if they are female or male. But I just told you they're female. And the only person that would know Dragon's true identity is the Hokage himself. And he's the only person that knows. As Dragon is standing in the corner, Dragon is in the shadows hiding. As Hiruzen asked the question, I still wonder how your Anbu could lose 12-year-old boy in a bright orange jumpsuit that can stick out from any location, bright hair and whiskers. As Dragon states, I wonder that question myself, Hiruzen. But the kid can just do it. He's talented. He's talented. And he knows that the Ombu are following him. So it's quite impossible for a sensory ninja, it's quite impossible for Ombu that uses chakra to follow him, to follow a sensory ninja that knows exactly what Ombu or other different chakra signatures that are ninja following him feels like. As Hiruzen just sighs. Also, Danzo was in the room, and also Danzo was gritting his teeth as well. Danzo has also been trying to keep an eye on Naruto, but Naruto is still able to avoid his root agents. As also Danzo doesn't know how he does it, but they chalk it up to one of the boy's mystery quirks. He's able to avoid Ambu like it's butter. Hiruzen also wonders how is he Naruto able to prank mostly all the Ambu in one night? And how does he know where the Ambu bases are? The Ambu bases is supposed to be one of the most secure places in the Leaf Village. I mean, highly trained sensory ninja go to that base nearly every day, scanning every part of the section, corners, and areas every day. And yet, an orange jumpsuit boy with whiskers and yellow hair is able to swap the Ambu's mask and also swap the suits and also swap the clothes that the Ambu wear and get away with it like nothing ever happened. They are still trying to discover who placed the last prank and trying to pin Naruto as the person who pranked them, but they have no evidence. Dragon was basically thinking to themselves that they should send Naruto to Ibiki to see if he was the true culprit of that prank, and they know he was. But they have no evidence to prove that, so haha. Hazaruzen just starts stating, well, I can't do much anymore. Kakashi Sensei, you got this team. As Kakashi Sensei just nods and continues. Team assignment gets continued with obviously one difference being Sakura is on Shino. Sakura is on Shino and Shino, Akamaru and Kiba basically team. It's team 8, I think. Continuing on. In the class, basically the classes started gathering. The Jonin sensei started coming to pick up their children or their team. Asuma, I think he's team 5 or 6. Team 8, Anko. Team Ya, continuing. As the rest, as Naruto and Hinata and Sasuke were alone in the classroom. Sasuke is still acting like his normal Tim self, staring outside the window with his hands by his mouth. As he leans on his hands that is on his table that is near his mouth, using them as support. Hinata is basically sitting with her arms on her lap, just basically sitting like that. As Naruto is in the center, just sitting with his both hands on the table and his head lying on them. 2 hours go by. Hinata and Sasuke and Naruto are getting agitated. They both think, where the hell is this guy? Until Kakashi Sensei opens the door. My first observations of you three are: you're boring, as Sasuke, as Kakashi Sensei states. All three getting just deadpan. As Naruto yells, "Where the hell were you? We've been waiting here for 2 hours." As Kakashi Sensei states, da 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 da, calm down. You're eager to start. Meet me on the rooftop in 1 minute. As he takes out his books and does a sanctuary with a bunch of leaves coming out of nowhere. As Naruto does a blink and states, this joning of... as Naruto takes a hiss. So, this is Kakashi Sensei. Yes. He's an also statement kid. Quick statement kid. That dude Kakashi is always late. So, suggestion. Come a bit later in the day if you want to be early. Or if you want to catch your sensei immediately, you come a bit later. As he states, noted, all team 7 stand up as they head to the roof. Sasuke with his hands in his pocket, Naruto with his hands by his head, and Hinata just hands together walking forward, head down, as they make it to the rooftop. This is the most quietest team you will ever get, and the most quietest combo you will ever get. Even Sasuke was getting annoyed at how quiet this team is. Naruto didn't utter a sound. Hinata didn't say a peep, and Sasuke just groaned every few seconds. And Sasuke is getting annoyed at how antisocial that everyone is. Even he can say he's a social person to a degree. But this entire team is so antisocial that it's basically incredible that this team can function at all. As everyone sits down on the roof. As Kakashi Sensei states, so, how about we start first? Introduce yourselves. As the first person to ask was Hinata. Sensei, how do you mean by introduce yourself? As Kakashi gives a hiss. Like this. Hi, I'm Kakashi Sensei. My likes? I have none. My dislikes? You don't need to know that. What are my hobbies? You don't need to know that. What are my things I like to do? You will never know that. And love interests? You'll never know that. As he gives an eye smile. As all three getting thought, we learn nearly nothing about this person but his name. As Kakashi points to Hinata. You go first, ma'am. My name is Hinata Hyuga. I like friends and people. Also training and, as she says under her breath, Naruto. She also continues on. She loves sweet buns because Naruto introduced Hinata to sweet buns one day, and I can tell you, Hasashi Yuga. Ooh, he was mad. He was mad at Naruto. He cursed the Nine-Tails name on that day. Usually the ninjas don't hate Naruto because they understand that Naruto is not the Kyuubi. He's the jailer. So, the Amarame clan, the Bug clan, the Hyuga clan, the Choji's clan, all the different ninja clans, they basically welcome Naruto with open arms. They asked him to join them for lunch, maybe breakfast, asked for an eating match in ramen, and etc. etc. He also started joining his father and I forgot his name. Oh, gosh, how can I forget his name? Give me a minute. Gosh, the smartest clan in the village. Um, Shikamaru, there we go. Shikamaru's father. He even ganged up with Shikamaru to fight Shikamaru's father in Shogi. There we go, Shogi. As they both lost. But they also won. It was a 2-4. They lost only 4 times. He won 4, but he lost twice and they won 2 times. So yeah, with their combined minds, they were able to do some good. But the civilians, yeah, not so sure. Also, Naruto has discovered Tintin's shot, and also has discovered Tintin's master and even his father. He sold him weapons and other goody prices that a ninja would need, such as armor and stuff like that, at a pretty good price. He also took he also took custom orders, which was a plus for Naruto. He also met Tintin himself, and even met Lee, but he didn't meet their last teammate. Well, he was lucky he didn't meet them because he wouldn't like him. He wouldn't like him anyway. Lee was a oddball of energy, especially the team sensei, Guy Sensei. Yeah, Guy Sensei and Lee. Ugh, it creeped Naruto out still. He couldn't even break the genjutsu with his eyes, which is impossible because this is the ultimate dojutsu. As he does a flashback, seeing Guy Sensei and Lee busy hugging while yelling, Guy Sensei, Lee, Guy Sensei, Lee, crying at the same time, as a waterfall appears, as a rainbow starts flowing behind them, as a river appears out of nowhere, as they're in entirely different scenery, as Naruto is stating, what is this? What is going on? As he activates his eyes, wondering how can he break this genjutsu. Break it, please! My eyes is burning! As Kurama's like, shut it off! Look away! I can't! As Naruto is screaming in his head. Yeah, he is having a meltdown. Slowly. He is terrified at what he sees. As Rock Lee and Guy Sensei are still, yeah, having that lovey-dovey thing until Tintin snaps them out of it with a giant mace. Stop it, the both of you! Ding ding! I told you about. We talked about this. None of this lovey-dovey good stuff in public. You're scaring our. You're scaring our new customer, as she states. Also, Tintin's father saw this, and Tintin's father was on the ground crying into a ball. As Tintin's father was stating, never in my life have I ever seen something so horrifically terrifying that I felt like wanting to kill myself. As he says this while crying. Continuing on. Naruto gets his stuff and leaves. He also bought a few Simbon and, yeah, gave it to Hinata as a present. Hinata also learned of Naruto's dojutsu's abilities. He can create things and other things more, and also been using the things that Naruto created with his mind and plus chakra. It was permanent, but still, if he got the weapons from a forgery, then make it himself, it would be better from the forgery than make it himself. Because he's not quite good with using that ability yet. He's still practicing. But yeah, he got Hinata a box of Simbon as a gift. Hinata has also been working on medical, but yeah, that's enough of Hinata now. Naruto, obviously the same thing, but a bit different. Naruto wants to be Hokage, end the cycle of hatred and bring world peace to the ninja world, as Naruto states. Kakashi all but wonders in awe how Naruto knew about the cycle of hatred, and how Naruto wants to bring peace to the world. As Kakashi thought, obviously you're supposed to know about the cycle of hatred. Because everybody hates you every day for being something that they think you are but not really, obviously you tend to pick up things and learn things fast. It's obvious. As Sasuke says the same thing. I wanna avenge my clan. I have not a dream but an ambition. I want to avenge my clan and kill a certain someone, as he states. Kakashi says that someone should be Itachi. I'm guessing, as Kakashi says in his mind. Naruto and Hinata thought of the same thing. Okay, anyway, you two, you three, meet me in training round 7 tomorrow at 8. Also, don't eat. This is a suggestion, obviously. He tells them about the training, give them the forms and what they are about to do, and suggestion, don't eat unless you want to throw up. As he leaves, Naruto and Hinata stands up and walks away. Also on cue, Sasuke stands up also and walks away as well. As Naruto and Hinata are talking, but they're whispering. Also not to draw attention to the Uchiha that is walking behind them. As Naruto asks Sasuke, wanna come with us? We are going to plan for the upcoming survival test that Kakashi might be doing tomorrow. We think that there might be a hidden meaning in the test. Wanna join? Sasuke says, I don't need your pity, Dobie. I'll do everything myself. You two can do whatever. As Sasuke waves and walks off. As all Naruto could do was just look at Sasuke's back and while hearing Kurama growl in Naruto's head. That little brat. That little brat couldn't even see the true meaning of the exams. As Naruto states, leave him. He'll discover the true meaning himself. And if he doesn't, well then, that's up to him. As Naruto and Hinata goes off to train, Hinata. As we follow Hinata as she gets home to the Hyuga compound. See Neji. As she says, hello cousin Neji. As Neji Hyuga looks behind him and sees Hinata. The weak Hinata heiress. As Neji states, oh, so isn't the heiress of the Hyuga clan. One day we will fight, and fate will choose me the victor. So you better hope that you and pray that fate doesn't lead me to fight you in the future. As he says this with a cocky attitude, as all Hinata could do was frown, wondering why Neji was always like this. Well, she knows the reason why. It's just she's putting that facade up, still wondering why Neji is like this. And then her sister, as the training with her father Hisashi, Hyuga, and her sister. As their training commences, she loses again. Her father frowns and stating, tomorrow we do this again. Get some rest. You've done enough. As the younger heiress has proved herself again and again and again that she is stronger than her sister. It's not that Hinata has learned that Hinata is soft anymore and she doesn't want to hurt anybody, is that Hinata is trying to hide her abilities. She doesn't think it's the correct time to show her abilities. Because if she shows her true abilities, it will lead to the point where Naruto's abilities will also get discovered because of her actions. And she doesn't want that. She really wants to put her sister on her place for a cocky attitude. As well, she's acting just like Neji, stating that she will never win against her no matter what, and that she is her better, even though that she is older. All Hinata could do was sigh and head to her room. Hinata was feeling pretty sore and she wanted to dabble in for some unforeseen pleasure that she's been waiting to read for a while. As Hinata sits down on the bed, locks her room, showers, gets dressed in a kimono, locks the window as well, and takes a breath, looks left, looks right, and scans the room before she opens a compartment near her wall. She pulls out a few books. These are orange books, as at the back it states, Aichi Aichi Paradise, Volume 3. As Hinata lays in her bed, reading, her unforeseen pleasure. Naruto in his room. Naruto has also gotten addicted to this book, because it seems to be he is also reading it as well. Thanks to Hinata, the QB has gotten addicted to the Aichi Aichi Paradise, for unknown reasons. Naruto has discovered that the QB can be pretty horny at times. And I mean at times. They are quite into the book for some reason. As the QB is reading, Naruto also gotten addicted to the book and kept on reading it. He also learned a bunch of mature vocal words that he could use, and yeah, thanks to Hinata, he's a pervert now. But a pervert that's pretty tamed. Hinata, uncontrollable pervert. Kurama, uncontrollable pervert. And Naruto is the tamed one. And then you get the person that made this book, the super pervert, Jiraiya of the Sanin. As Naruto is thinking, I mean, my, I mean, my father is going to kill Jiraiya when he gets up to heaven. I'm guessing. Because he's made me a one heck of a pervert. As Kurama states, you think you were born a pure-hearted baby, Naruto? As Kurama starts laughing, don't make me laugh. You should have seen what Minato and Kushina did when behind closed doors. You can say those two were much of a pervert than Jiraiya Sensei could ever be. Kushina came up with the weirdest ways of having a bit of fun with your father. Let's just say that. As all Naruto had to do was blush. Thinking about it and then wiping the thoughts immediately, stating, no, I do not want to think about my father and my mother in that light. As he yells with red in his mind with a red face, shut up, Kyuubi. As Kurama, all he did was a laugh. I mean, I can tell you some of the secrets that Kushina and Minato used to do behind closed doors, but I tell you, you wouldn't last a few seconds with me explaining. As the Kyuubi has a small bit of a nosebleed of how insane that woman is. That woman was so kinky and insane that, yeah, just about, I can't even explain it. But yeah, let's leave it on that. I'm gonna stop it there, guys, because we went for an hour. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video. The next video will probably be what if Naruto was in the Gaijin Impact What if Gaijin Impact was in Naruto? And I might be continuing that series as well. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye!